When Dionysus granted King Midas one wish, the king asked that whatever he touched would turn to gold. Midas soon discovered that his choice led to his own misery. When he found that his Midas touch turned his daughter into a cold, golden statue, and his food into indigestible nuggets, he quickly understood how poorly he had chosen to use his great opportunity given by Dionysus. The myth of Dionysus makes painfully evident how poorly the mind can choose. Though we might desire the power to choose whatever we please, Plato observed that no matter how much power we might possess, our ability to lay hold of our goals is limited by our capacity to make choices that will bring about our intended desires. Great power coupled with a poor ability to choose often leads to our own destruction rather than blessing. When we understand that the mind is able to choose well and poorly, we must inquire what it is that brings the mind to be able to choose well. It would be simple enough to train the mind if it were merely a repository of ideas that one needed to fill with the right ideas to ensure correct thought. However, the mind is better understood as another of our senses. We have our eyes to see, ears to hear, and the mind to properly grasp the vast world of thought. As each of the senses is heightened by use, so also the mind, when given proper practice, comes to be more discerning. As the eye of the artist perceives color and shape more distinctly, the palate of the chef comes to distinguish flavors more precisely, and the ear of the conductor hears sound more distinctly. So also the mind, through proper exposure and exercise, comes to see more clearly, to have a taste for good thinking, and to hear the compelling nature of profound insight. The power of the mind is most readily developed by exercising it in the activity that it is best suited for, grasping the world of the unseen. Seeing paintings will not make one an artist, eating will not make one a chef, and listening to music will not make one a conductor. However, a course in either of those skills would obviously include extensive time exercising each of those senses. So also with the mind. Extensively reading is the most direct route to a mind that possesses fine insight and encounters the world of ideas clearly. To many of the ancients, exercising the mind would be readily recognized as simply the soul's progress towards wisdom. However, the term wisdom may seem a quaint anachronism, as today most philosophers, those whose name means lover of wisdom, do not believe in the existence of wisdom, and most psychologists, whose name means those who study the soul, do not believe in the existence of a soul. Modern society feels more comfortable speaking of the process of education and its power to bring us the ability to earn money. Yet, what is the point of earning an income if we do not have the capacity to properly judge the worth of money itself, or the ability to discern the value of the time we put into its pursuit? In contrast to seeing the mind as a complex contraption serving mainly to tickle dollars out of a robust economy, the mind should be understood to be our sense for the world of the unseen, and as it practices seeing this world, it will grow in its capacity for the art of thought. Moderns are reluctant to allow the mind to claim knowledge that strays very far from the other senses. What can be known is what can be seen, heard, touched, and tasted. However, if the mind is a faculty in its own right, with the power to sense and know precisely those objects that are not perceived by the other senses, then we might find that the reality of wisdom is experienced with an even stronger sense than that of the eyes or ears. If becoming an orchestral conductor takes years of ear training, why should the mind be expected to think well unless it has been given proper objects for study? By faithfully giving ourselves to the training of the mind, what we see with the mind will gradually come to be more real than what the eye sees. There is abundant testimony to the existence of wisdom in many of the ancient writings. The writer of the Proverbs felt the existence of wisdom with such power that he personified her in the early chapters of Proverbs. In her person he speaks, "I, wisdom, dwell with prudence, and I find knowledge and discretion. Counsel is mine and sound wisdom. I am understanding, power is mine. By me kings reign and rulers decree justice. I love those who love me, and those who diligently seek me will find me. When God established the heavens, I was there, rejoicing in the world, his earth, and having my delight in the sons of men. The nature of wisdom is often baffling to readers of the Bible, as it is given such a broad understanding. At times, it is moral living, or the fear of the Lord, skill, knowledge of creation, and even in Isaiah as proper bread making. Wisdom was not only revered by the church fathers, but also dearly loved. Justinian and the monarchs of Byzantium were so enamored of Lady Wisdom that they named their great cathedral Holy Wisdom, Hagia Sophia. If the mind is given to us to pursue wisdom, coming to know and love her should be one of the most central and delightful activities of life. When Plato desired to speak of human love in the highest terms, he compared it to the vision of the good that the love of wisdom brought to the philosopher. Rather than comparing love to philosophizing, could we not today gain insight by reversing this compliment and comparing the pursuit of wisdom to a type of love? The pursuit of wisdom is a sort of romance in which we do not come to conquer, but are drawn up into a love that gives life vision and meaning. It is finding a sight that only lovers can cherish and fully appreciate. It is the vision that comes only to painters when they know they must paint, to musicians who know their craft comes before their incomes, and chefs who care more to see their patrons' shared understanding of the glory of good cooking than the size of their pocketbooks. The mind also has its own vision, and when its nature is allowed to grow into maturity, it too has a love natural to its nature. Reading is an activity taken as an end in itself, and for the purpose of developing the capacity of thought, that one might live well, guided by a mind that senses and loves the truth. The great books are written by authors who share this same vision. These books are not written to oversimplify issues so that we can cover them quickly and get back to the apparently important things of life. They're not written for those who will be combing the pages simply to find reaffirmation of their previously held opinions. They're not written for those in a state of despair who do not think they have time for slow contemplation. They're not written for those who do not want to read and are trying hard to avoid it. They're written for lovers of wisdom. In short, philosophers. They are written for those who know if they do not read, they will miss the chance to know and cherish their true love, Lady Wisdom.